to what we're doing today, which is going to be content sharing. There are a ton of different places that people hang out on the internet, right? Obviously. The internet is just packed chock full of forums, of groups, of communities, of just everybody interested in all different things, right? If you are interested in a certain thing, you very likely hang out in places where everybody else is interested in that same kind of thing. And that is extremely, extremely powerful. I didn't think Facebook groups were like valuable at all or anything like that. Turns out they are. LinkedIn groups, as another example, are a very similar thing, right? It's just that LinkedIn groups tend to be significantly less engaged, and so it's less valuable to put your content there. But we might try that as well. But this is super shareable, right? And so I should be able to share this in different places. I should be able to copy some of this content. I should be able to write little blurbs here and there and share this in different spots. And I want to actually show you how we're going to do that today, right? So here's a little piece of content. How I promote my content. This is huge. No ads, no connections, no existing audience, right? Because he found marketingexamples.com. I'm just bringing up points. He found like groups on on Twitter, on Reddit, on Slack, on Facebook, everywhere, all across the internet that and these aren't Twitter groups. These are just everywhere else that work really well, right? Where people are naturally interested in the stuff he's already writing, right? So he writes an article, right? The guy that runs Marketing Examples writes an article, right? And that article has a ton to say and has a ton to promote. It's really valuable for a good number of people in marketing, right? And so he wants to show that to everybody in marketing that he possibly can. So he finds all these different groups that have to do with marketing that are really, really interested in marketing. Marketers Chat, where is it? SaaS Marketers, like all these different marketing groups. Copywriters, that's interesting. And then he goes and he posts in different ways depending on what the platform likes the most, and like it pulls people from those platforms to his personal blog, right? We are going to try to do the same thing, but let's read a little bit more. 17 great tips for copywriting. The specifics: Twitter, Reddit, and Indie Hackers are places where long-form sharing works. I try to say, well, I share the whole article. Then I politely ask if the reader would like to join my email list. We tried running an ad on Reddit, and what we posted on Reddit was like, hey, I do live streams, right? I do live streams about entrepreneurship, and everybody fucking hated it. Nobody liked it. We got shit on. A couple of people called us some weird things, and we didn't get anywhere, right? But everybody that I've seen do really well on Reddit essentially just shares value immediately, right? And they're like, hey, like, this is what I learned, this is what happened, this is what I learned, and they just post it, and hopefully people like it, right? And I've never gotten something to work on Reddit, but we're going to give it a shot. And I think that's probably the place that we're gonna do it first. I break my articles into visual tips, subtly branding each one, upfront value, no hard sell. This is very interesting. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this on like a large scale, but we might as well try. So, subtly branded different things. Let's see. No one cares what you're gonna do. Everyone cares what you can do for them. So instead of sharing the whole article, like on Reddit, we might share the entire like live stream summary as well as some like lessons learned from running ads, for instance, right? Because like, let's see what's valuable here, right? I'm not going to say this episode we talked about. I'm going to say something like, most of my week was spent running ads. Here are the main lessons that I learned. One, from varying testimonials on Reddit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We might also include a little bit here, like we got like 3 cents for a simple ad on Quora, different things like that, right? We need to find what is the most shareable piece of this, and then copy fucking paste it to Reddit and Indie Hackers directly, right? And then say like, also I do live streams like this every week. I experiment like this every week, and I publish things like this every week, and you can get those if you drop your email right down below, right? And so that's what we would do on Reddit and Indie Hackers. We share the full thing because they don't want like, hey, go check out my blog, right? They hate that. Let's find some Facebook groups. Let's find some Slack groups. Let's find some more communities on the internet that we can use, right? The snowball effect. How other people share your content is just as important as how you share it. You want people sharing different things on different platforms. You want everyone to share the same thing on the same platform. Isolation sharing gets ignored. Concentrating sharing compounds. I direct everyone who links my article to read the same Twitter thread. 50 retweets turn into 500. Interesting. So, And also, I should be publishing this on LinkedIn. I should be publishing this. I should do my own personal sharing, right? On all of my personal stuff. So we know what we're doing. We just got to find these communities, right? And we have indie hackers. Let's go find a couple of quick subreddits. So let's do entrepreneur. Let's find r/entrepreneur. So boom. Entrepreneur ride along. I've heard that's a really popular one. Small business. Starting, owning, and growing a small business. Maybe. Yeah, why not? Small business makes sense. Let's do, what else? Do more. Is there anything else? r/business, politics, entrepreneurship. Kind of small. 22,000, 13,000. I am startups, r/startups, driver growth. Startup problems and solutions. Yeah, let's do that. r/startups. So cool. We have a good number of subreddits. We have like 4 subreddits, I think. Awesome. So now we know. That seems to be the best. Those seem to be the best little spots. Now, one of my friends actually goes and shares, like the guy that we interviewed before, Brett Chang. Brett literally goes and he has like 100 Facebook groups that he just copy pastes the same shit into on all these different Facebook groups. And then he just goes and he engages like crazy on everything that he can possibly find. That everybody commenting and everybody responding, which is really, really wild to me. That means that that means ideally, and he's grown his audience like crazy that way, right? He said it takes him about half an hour to just go and submit everywhere, but like it works really well, and he drops the link to different places. No. He said it takes him like half an hour every week. Well, half an hour to an hour every week, and like he says he gains like 200 subscribers sometimes just from 1 week of posting on different places, right? So I know this all sound. I agree. That's why I didn't initially do it, Toast, because I didn't want to like go around just sharing because I didn't think it would do anything. Because I see people sharing on a bunch of different sites, and it just seems useless, right? It seems really annoying and it seems useless. But apparently, if you target it really well, it is if I got 200 subscribers from 1 week from one really interesting thing, it would take me maybe an hour, 2 hours, right? Let's say it took me 5 hours, right? Let's say it took me literally 5 hours. That would double my current email subscriber base, right? Literally double my current email subscriber base, which is insane, which is absolutely, I would spend 10 hours to do that, right? Social media automation, Buffer, Hootsuite, Workflow, yeah, I know all of these. IFTTT looks really, really cool. Let's just set up rules for how different tools, apps, and social media platforms trigger one another. Simple concept that's hard to explain. I actually really want to get into IFTTT because it looks really, really cool. Go schedule. So all these make sense, yeah. Like Buffer, I've used Buffer. I can schedule posts out on LinkedIn. I can schedule them on Twitter. I can schedule them everywhere, right? But only on social media sites. I don't think I can use them for things like Reddit. I don't think I can use them for things like indie hackers. I don't think I can use them for things like Facebook groups, right? It's a little bit weird. Great defining trending topics. Influencers here and start building relationships with them. Okay. TweetDeck from social media listening on Twitter. Hootsuite is amazing. I've used Hootsuite. DrumUp, share meaningful content with your audience. Bonus Lucid Press, etc., etc., etc. I don't know. I don't know if it, I know it works on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and everywhere else, and that's fine. But this isn't going to take me that long to do, and we're going to see where people are coming from, right? So I hooked my website up to Google Analytics. I'm going to be able to tell acquisition on all traffic. Source/medium. Can I pull it from specific landing pages? I bet I can. LinkedIn, Google, Direct, Facebook, Marbella. That's really weird. Reddit was actually interesting. Somebody did post on Reddit and there was a referral there. Oh, that might have been my ad. I'm not sure. Let's see if we can find landing pages. Behavior, content flow, conversions. Maybe acquisition. Google Ads, social campaigns, social landing pages. Let's go and check landing pages. So, I guess these don't count. Interesting. So I guess it doesn't count as an actual landing page. But I bet we can search for direct URLs. I'll bet we can. We can also just generally check acquisition, all traffic, source/medium, right? And then I will send it to the week, right? So the past week here, this will be the past week, perfect. And once that's applied, I will just essentially pay attention to what happens new, right? And kind of see from there, because we got some from Jason Zhu, we got some from Linktree, which is my Instagram, we got a bunch from LinkedIn. People are going to my website, right? In the past week, 65 users have gone to my website, which is awesome. Things are going really great. And we're getting tons of direct, because people just know the URL. And Google, people are finding us on Google. It's really, really cool. So things are going good, right? But if we start to see Reddit boosting up, that means Reddit did amazing. If we start to see some from indie hackers, that means indie hackers did really well. If we start to see more from LinkedIn, more from Twitter, right?